Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Jump Rope Veteran. Welcome back to the channel, Jump Rope to Freedom. Good to see you again. Today's podcast episode features Holland, someone who I've gotten to know over, I think it's probably the past 6 months over Instagram. She is a smart young lady and somebody who is passionate about jump rope and all things fitness. She's also a distance runner and somebody who enjoys staying active despite being a college student. And I say despite being a college student because I know when I was in college, I had no discipline whatsoever. And she's in college and continues to train, continues to find a way to get after it, to jump rope and do her running training for her long distance running, which I think is commendable. And it's something that I think a lot of younger folks in their early 20s, late teens can definitely look to as a source of inspiration and as somebody to emulate. A couple of admin notes before we start this. I think a lot of you know that there was a video published about me and a couple other people by the jump rope company and fitness company Rush Athletics on March 25th, 2021. This episode was recorded on March 23rd, 2021. The footage you're about to see with Holland was recorded on March 23rd, 2021, 2 days before the Rush Athletics video was released. The reason why I'm disclosing this information is because Holland is, at this point in time, a Rush athlete, which is essentially an affiliate and a partner, for lack of better words, in Rush Athletics company, which is completely fine. I 100% support her decision if she even needs my support. And I think it's great that she's involved with the company and that she's taken the time to rep a company that she believes in. I think that's awesome. The reason why I'm disclosing all this is because I did not want there to be any confusion or any misconstruing of the fact that I'm releasing this episode after the Rush Athletics video was released about me. I reached out to Holland after the Rush Athletics video was published and asked her if she was comfortable with me releasing the podcast episode that we had recorded on March 23rd, 2 days before Rush Athletics released his video about me and the other people that he mentioned. And Holland commented that she thought that it was okay and that she was supportive of it. And so once I gained Holland's concurrence to release the episode, I ensured that everything was okay with the episode and that everything was fine with it, and I proceeded to release the episode that you are about to see. So I just needed to put that disclaimer out there and once again reiterate that I have no problems with Rush Athletics whatsoever, and I'm not trying to damage his brand or steal his brand or anything along those lines. And that by me interviewing one of his ambassadors, one of his athletes, was in no way a diss or disrespect toward him. But I do need to put that out there in light of recent events. So with that out of the way, I hope you enjoy the podcast episode. Holland has a lot of wisdom and knowledge for being so young that she shares. So tune in, and I hope you enjoy it. Peace. All right, we're rolling. Hey, thanks, Holland, for coming on to the show. I really appreciate you taking the time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first question I have for you is, how did you get your start with jump rope and what made you want to start with jump rope?
Yeah. Um, so I started back in 2018 after I had graduated high school. And throughout high school, I've been playing team sports like soccer, basketball, and track. And so I knew I needed to find a way to stay in shape, stay active, because that's just something that's pretty important to me. And so I I I've done running and I still continue to run, but I wanted a way to incorporate some cross training, maybe some body weight exercises within that too. And in basketball, actually, sometimes only like once or twice throughout the season, my coach would have us do jump ropes. And
Okay.
I mean, the jump ropes were the beaded ropes, really cheap. Like they're
Mhm.
like not super nice ones, but it kind of got me interested because it was, I don't know, it was just a nice change up. And I was like, okay, this can be fun. So what I did was I just looked up on like I Googled it or probably on YouTube of jump rope workouts and I found the jump rope dudes.
Mhm.
And then that's what I think I got my first jump rope from Dick's Sporting Goods. It was just a PVC one.
Yeah.
I started doing their workouts. Really liked them. And so I did that for that summer until probably school started again and took a break, did running, started back up the next summer just to take another break from running. And then I took another break. It's been off and on throughout
Yeah.
these last couple of years because um, I just really like running and I'll find races that I sign up for. And in the past, I've just, for training for those races, only I've done running and not a whole lot of cross training until probably, when was it? April or May of 2020. I just decided I needed a break from running because my race
Mhm.
had gotten canceled from Corona. Um, and so I went back to YouTube, went back to the jump rope dudes, and they were actually offering free monthly challenges. So those are their PDFs that you can buy now. But for 3 or 4 months, they were letting you have those for free, and that's 5 days of workouts, jump rope workouts. And so I just went all into that and decided this is fun. Can I learn more than just like regular bounce and some footwork? And so that's when I searched again on YouTube, like jump rope tricks. And that's when I found Rush Athletics jump rope page. And watching him jump rope was super inspiring to me. And I just really got into jump rope and wanting to learn all those tricks. And I've been doing that for I think I jumped almost every day for the whole summer, so maybe June to
Wow.
August, and maybe even into September. It was just all jump rope. I didn't like running. I just needed a break from running,
Mhm.
and so overall, it's been like 2 to 2.5 years, but it's been really broken up in between those times.
Oh,
But
nice.
yeah, the main reason I think I found jump rope was just to stay in shape after high school sports.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah. So, what in basketball practice, what kind of workouts would your coach have you do with the jump rope, or what kind of drills were you guys
Mhm.
doing?
So yeah, there's basically two groups of people during this drill where it's like half the team would be doing the jump ropes, and I think it would just be 45 seconds of regular bounce, just jump, and then the other part of the team you had to practice like dribbling or something like that,
Oh,
and
nice.
then the last so yeah, 45 seconds on. I don't remember what the rest recovery time was, and then the last set would be 1 minute, like jump as many jumps as you can and count.
Mhm.
And it was really basic, but that was probably my first jump rope workout.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about jump rope is you really don't need to do much to get the benefits from it. I think the only
Mm-hmm.
two tricks I mean, the tricks are great, but the only two tricks you really, or two moves you really need to know, in my opinion, are the basic bounce and the alternate footstep. And if you can do those,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to get most of the benefits. But the tricks that you've been learning, that everyone's been learning as they go along, those are beneficial in a lot of ways, like with coordination, and also
Mm-hmm.
it's inspiring just to be able to nail a trick and then go on to the next one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, I agree. With you, what you said with the basic bounce and alternating bounce, I think like I think in a lot of my videos, I'm doing like crosses, double unders, and any like other moves I've learned. But a thing that people don't see a lot is in my workout portion when I'm jumping, I'm just doing that regular bounce and the
Mhm.
alternating foot boxer step. I think I think just footwork in general, to have that first before moving on to those more complicated tricks, if you're interested, is a really good foundation.
Oh yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. With the breaks that you took from jump rope and running, alternating back and forth from that, did you ever notice that one helped the other when you went back to it?
That's a good question. I didn't notice a huge difference. What I did notice though, when during last summer, I would run sometimes with one of my friends, and I hadn't been running, and we were running not a whole lot, maybe 3 miles, but I would be able to take like whatever fitness I had acquired through jump rope, and it still applied to my running. I was still able to run those 3 miles, and I think it might just be um, I don't know, I've gained more experience with running, but I was also able to have a faster pace. And now I do running and jump rope into my training plan that I have right now. And I think it has helped just like with, I'd say, the ends of runs when you're just pushing through of yeah, just pushing through at the end because of the different muscles jump rope can work.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that I noticed the same thing when I was, because in the military, all we have to do is run 2 miles. So we're not running long, long distances or things like that. But with the 2 mile run, I mean, you can get down there in the 11s and 12s if you're fast. And I remember the first time I started jumping rope, about 6 months after I started, that's when I recorded my best 2 mile time. And I think that,
Oh,
like you're saying, with the fast twitch and slow twitch muscles, I think
yeah.
that's really what it does. Is I was able to take off on that 2 mile run much faster. And so it's
Hmm.
interesting that you seems like you've had kind of that same experience.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as far as jump ropes go, what are your go-to jump ropes these days? Your favorite jump ropes that you like to use on a regular basis?
Yeah. So with every workout, I use um, weighted ropes, and I have a pair of the cross rope get lean set. So it's a quarter pound and half pound rope. I'd say I use the half pound rope more. If you've heard of Kathy Jumps on Instagram, she's a huge fan of the half pound rope, and she uses the get strong handles. And
Mm-hmm.
so I've really loved that combo too after she's encouraged people to try it. So those that the half pound cross rope for sure. And I use the Rush Athletics speed rope every session too to practice those like crosses, double unders, um, any other type of move like that. And then lately I've really enjoyed using a beaded rope. I use there's one by Rush Athletics that I use, and then also I have one from the jump rope coach Chris. Both are great.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I'm trying to get into releases, very basic releases, but those are also good. So just those three types of ropes. I'm not a huge fan of long handled ropes. I have two, but I just haven't used those that much.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ropes out there. And the great thing about it is there's a lot of different styles for
Hmm.
people, and those different type of ropes, you can tailor them to the type of style that you have, which is great. I know for me, I like the long handle ropes. That's just because the
Hmm.
style that I have more like a Buddy Lee type style. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's good because you can always find a rope that's good for your jumping ability and your jumping style. So that's awesome. Those I've heard
Yeah.
good things about Chris's ropes.
Hmm.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. I've used it for 3 months, and it's held up really nicely.
Good. Good. Good.
Mhm.
And so what do your workouts actually look like as far as sets and reps? And do you incorporate anything into your jump rope workouts like squats or calisthenics or things like that?
Yeah. So structured I structure a lot of my workouts just how I learned from the jump rope dudes. So it'll be maybe like 8 to 10 exercises of 30 seconds each, 10 seconds off. So an example of that could be, so I start out with 30 seconds jump rope, 10 seconds break, and then 30 seconds of squats or push-ups or lunges, just simple body weight exercises like that. And I'll do that for like, usually that workout will be 30 minutes each.
Okay. Yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
sounds good. Their workouts are pretty effective. They
Mm-hmm.
are with what I like about their workouts is that there's not too much resting, which is good because it keeps that heart rate up. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
2 minutes of jump rope and then a minute of rest. You're just going right into the next exercise, which is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think people can get into trouble when they start to, well, not into trouble, but they can not get the full benefits of a good workout if they're taking too long to rest, especially if it's a cardio workout. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially, I mean, the jump rope dudes talk about it a lot, but it's all about the intensity of your workout.
Yeah.
Like you could do the 30 seconds on, 10 seconds rest without being that intense and still have a workout, but I think to get the most benefits from your workout, it's to be intense and to be intentional with the time that you have.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so as far as jump rope tricks, you've been able to amass a good following on Instagram with your videos, and they're very
Mm-hmm.
impressive. Some of the
Thank
things
you.
that you're able to do. Yeah, absolutely. So what is your process in learning new tricks? How do you break it down and how do you go about learning?
Yeah. So I'd say at the start it was all about watching YouTube tutorials. I mean, there's so many different tutorials out there, and so I watched a lot of those. I watched a lot of Rush Athletics tutorials. Um, and so yeah, I'll watch a tutorial and then I'll go out and just try to do it. In the beginning, since I was at home, I was able to like bring a mirror out and watch and record myself trying to do the trick just to see. Especially if you record, you can slow yourself down and see, oh, my arms aren't crossing like far enough, or they're crossing way too high on my body. Um, so I'd say it's a lot of trial and error of um, yeah, just I just have to try it out. I can watch the trick be done so many times, but it won't help me learn it. So, watching it for sure. Sometimes what's really nice about Instagram is you can just message people if they seem really good at a trick, like, hey, how what are some tips that to do that? I did that. And I still do that for some tricks. One of them was the um, it's like the EB where you jump through it. That one just really, I just couldn't get my brain around that. So I asked Felix, his Instagram is XD Hops, and he was able to give me some tips on that. Um, so yeah, I'd say I watched a video about it, try it, record myself, see what I'm messing up on. But really, it's just I practice it a lot. And I really try to slow the trick down instead of doing
Yeah.
it at speed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Those are all great ways of learning it. I think that like you're saying, you just have to get out there and try it and it's going to be a little uncomfortable, especially
Oh,
with
yeah.
jump rope because there's so much coordination involved. So it's like trying to learn how to walk
Hmm.
sometimes because you just can't get your mind around it quite literally. I've been in that situation before. I'm like, how in the world do people do this? But then you just
Yeah.
try to slow it down, like you're saying, and you end up eventually getting it as long as you put in the work. Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, it's also, I've realized as I've tried to learn more tricks, is you really need to have the basics down of, for example, for me, for the longest time, I didn't understand the switch cross, but
Right.
some of the tips people were saying were like be able to cross with both hands.
Yeah.
And so to do that, I slowed it way down, I think. And I learned it on a long handled rope, but
Yeah.
um yeah, I just had to take tips from all these people that could do it.
Yeah, that's not an easy move to get at all. That one took me some time too. It's just
Mm-hmm.
so strange. I found that with that specific move, I'm not sure how you feel about it, but
Mm-hmm.
I found that you just got to jump a little bit higher on the second one. I'm not sure if you had that same experience on the second cross.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at the beginning, yeah, I had to jump higher, and to me, I didn't understand how your arms moved and
Yeah,
switched like that. But yeah, um, someone's tutorial, Bav, he has a YouTube tutorial on it, and it was really helpful for me.
Bav. I haven't heard of Bav before.
I
I'll
think
have to
his
check it out.
Instagram is bav.11 on Instagram.
Bav.11. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll definitely check that out. Definitely. So you've talked about Jump Rope Dudes, Rush Athletics, and a couple other people. Who aside from them, or if you want to go into them a little bit more, who are your mentors both in the jump rope space and outside of the jump rope space? Who do you look to for guidance and mentorship?
Mm-hmm. Um, that's a good question. Say within the jump rope community, someone I really look up to is, sorry, this light is bugging me, is Kathy from Kathy Jumps on Instagram. I wouldn't say I've messaged her a lot, but just her page in general and what she talks about on her stories is just really inspiring because she's a mom too, and she was also one of the first female jumpers that I found that got really popular. So I really look up to her because she she just has fun with jump rope. She makes it look fun, and I don't know. I really like her page, and she's real. She's honest. She'll show clips of when she's not getting a trick or the process that she has to go through to get a trick. And so I really like her page. And yeah, and Rushy, he's awesome. He's really nice, and um, for me, he's really inspiring because on his YouTube, he's tracked like the whole building of his brand and all his tutorials and all the behind the scenes stuff he showed.
Yeah.
Um, I just really, really inspiring, and he's been really nice. I'm a Rush athlete for his company,
Hmm.
and he's just really great, super generous, and he's just he's just really supportive of all of us, and we've been like through that I've been able to build a community of people from all around the world.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Let's see, another jump rope mentor. Hmm. Yeah, I think those two would probably be my top two. I have some other people on Instagram that are really real too. I think Munna Skips on Instagram.
Yeah, I've
She's
seen her.
someone who, yeah, like
Yeah.
Kathy, I think is just really real about the process of like, hey, like maybe my jump rope session didn't go great today, but I'm glad I was able to do it. So, yeah, those three I think are some big inspirations for me.
Mm.
Hmm.
Oh, that's awesome. But what about outside the jump rope space too? Like any authors or people that you follow or family members?
Hmm. Um, recently, there's this YouTube channel by Nick Bear that I really like
Oh yeah.
because, yeah, he's just, I think he calls it like being a hybrid athlete where he runs and he weight trains, and he's prepping for an Ironman right now. So his mental toughness is just off the charts. And so hearing him talk about that is really inspiring of like his phrase is go one more. And so hearing him explain what that means has been really cool. Author wise, I like John Mark Comer. One book I really enjoy about by him is called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry.
Hmm. I
Just
haven't
talks
heard of that.
about um, slowing down in an age where like everything's thrown at you constantly with like social media and technology.
Yeah.
Um, I really like that book, and I should probably read it again soon. It's just a good reminder. Um, and I've read one book by Bob Goff that I really liked called Everybody Always, and just that message in that book I thought was really important.
Hmm. I haven't heard of either of those books. Whenever I get through and edit this, I'm going to go back and put those in the show notes so that people can check that out. The first one you talked about is an important skill to have because there's so much information being thrown at
Mm-hmm.
everybody these
Yes.
days because through social media, because everyone's got a phone, mostly everyone's got a smartphone. So
Mm-hmm.
being able to filter out a lot of noise and being able to find the right signals is actually a superpower these days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So as far as the nutrition aspect of it, what do you follow any sort of diet or anything along those lines?
No specific diet. I've tried intermittent fasting before, but um, I haven't continued it. Not because it went like badly or it wasn't working. I kind of like breakfast, so
Yeah.
I'll eat a late breakfast and small lunch or just snack throughout the afternoon and then dinner. But yeah, I don't really have any specific diet. I just try to, eat fruits and vegetables, and it's like a balance trying to eat all the stuff in moderation.
Yeah, absolutely. And are there any go-to foods that you pretty much eat every day that you go back to?
Oh yeah. I have like phases of food that I really like. And so right now I eat like one of two breakfasts. It will either be steel cut oats with apples, a little bit of peanut butter and honey, or I guess it's a breakfast burrito with just eggs and spinach and cheese. So those are my two things that I really like right now.
Oh, that's great that you just alternate back and forth. That
Yeah.
reminds me of it kind of reminds me in a funny way of how Steve Jobs, when he was still alive, how he would and Mark Zuckerberg does it these days, how they would wear the same outfit every
Mhm.
single day and they would just because it would eliminate decision making,
Yeah.
which
So
decisions
yeah.
can cause a lot of fatigue throughout the day. So it was one less decision they would have to make, which I thought was awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really cool. One of
Mhm.
two, one of two breakfasts. So how long have you been doing that for?
Um, let's see. I've been eating breakfast burritos since probably the fall.
Mm,
So, I really so since then, and then oatmeal, I think I started to really like that in January maybe. So, starting in January, I kind of alternate between those two breakfasts. And then on Sunday, because it's my long run, I always eat the same breakfast. It's just a tortilla with peanut butter and honey in it. And so I guess it's three, but during the weekday, it's those two.
No, that's awesome. I think that man, that's great. People should take a page from your playbook, and I know that there's a lot of well, one of the human needs is to want variety, but at the same time, that's a double-edged sword. If you do the same couple of things, then it
Mm-hmm.
just like I was saying, it just eliminates that one decision. You can focus on other things that are probably a little bit more important than figuring out what you're going to eat every day. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm such a routine person, so just to have in my mind, I'm either gonna have this or that. Just is really helpful.
Yeah. How long is your long run? You said you did a long run on Sundays.
So it's changing as I get closer to my race. I'm running a half marathon end of April.
Mhm.
So last Sunday I did 9 miles,
Wow.
and um, I've usually been increasing a mile each week, but going forward I'm just gonna do half a mile just to try to prevent like injury. Um, so yeah, 9 miles next week will be nine and a half, and then so on. so on. So before my race, I'm hoping to get up to 11 or 12 miles.
11 or 12 miles, man.
Mhm.
That's a long way. That's, oof, oof. I'm a shorter mile person myself. I mean, I've done like the longest I've ever run is like 10 or 11 miles, but man, I
Mhm.
was really tired after that. Whew, I was tired, man. Good on you
Yeah.
for that. And that's
Thank
every
you.
that's every Sunday, a 9 mile run. Wow.
Yeah, every Sunday, yeah, it'll be my long run of however, yeah. Mhm.
Oh, that's good. So as far as so I wanted to ask earlier about I asked about tricks, but also
Mhm.
one thing I didn't ask about was the toughest trick you've learned to date
Oh,
and why. Why was it so hard for you?
yeah. Um, there's been a couple, like we mentioned before, the switch cross.
Yeah.
I think that one on Instagram got really popular in the summer, like towards
Mm,
the end of the summer. I just saw everybody do it, and I couldn't. Like I just got it, I think in December, so that one took me 4 months, I think, just
mm.
because I didn't understand the timing and the hand placement and all that stuff. Um, Another one that I'd say I still have to work on is um, the double cross, like double cross under where it's a cross, and then you do it twice.
Oh yeah.
Um, just because you have to wrap your arms further enough around your body and then wrist movement to get it going under you twice, but still do a double under. I think it's just the timing of that one that I'm still working on, or maybe, yeah, it just one I have to keep working on, or else I might not remember how to do it.
Yeah.
Um, so that one, I'd say those two. Oh, and the Mick release. It that one hasn't been on my radar for as long. Um, but it's a lot harder to learn than I was expecting, because when I see other people do it, it's just like flicker the rope and they got it.
Yeah.
Um, so I thought, how hard can that be? Um, turns out it's really hard.
Yeah.
Um,
It is.
so I
Yeah.
think I think I got like one release in the summer and then could not do it for a long time until like I got a better beaded rope, and still working on it. Still can't catch that consistently, but yeah, those three. So switch cross, double cross under, and Mick release are, I think, the hardest tricks I've learned.
Yeah, that release, I agree with you on that one. The other two are difficult as well, but I can
Hmm.
definitely identify on the release. Those there's just so much more that can go wrong when you're not holding the rope and it's
Hmm.
flying off in one direction or the other. There's a
Yeah.
lot that can go wrong, and it takes so much I don't even know the word. It's so much precision, so much
Yeah.
fine precision to be able to control the rope while you're not controlling it, essentially by holding it. And so,
Yeah.
so you said you got a beaded rope, but how else were you able to drill that and get it?
Um, I honestly, I think I would just I worked on first just rotating the rope correctly, not even worrying about catching the rope, because I saw one of Nate KG's YouTube tutorials on it. He said step one, just practice, be able to spin the rope, and the wrist movement requires for that. So I practiced that a lot just to get that movement down. And then, yeah, it was a lot of me just standing there, throwing the rope, and then trying to catch it. And then, if I could catch it, next step was catching it into a toe catch. Um, so just little by little steps, I think. And then also watching other people um, do it on Instagram. Chris, the jump rope coach, Chris, has these really nice posts about like one move, and then he'll break it down in different slides. So I watched those too to get that down.
Yeah, those guys are great teachers, Nate and
Hmm.
Chris. They both, yeah, they they know what they're doing as far as walking people through the different moves, especially the harder ones like that, where it really is a gift and skill that they have to be able to articulate and explain it well enough to where people are getting it consistently after watching
Mhm.
their instruction. So that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. And even with some of those other moves, like the double cross under, I've gone back to Rashi's videos on those just to
Yeah.
watch those because he has a few videos on that and he'll just break it down. So I don't think you can ever outgrow watching tutorials, even how far you are with your jumping journey.
Oh, you're exactly right. You always are learning. And the
Mm-hmm.
minute that you think that you're not learning anymore, that's when things really start to get not so good for you. If you think
Yeah.
you can't learn anymore, it's the people who are the best at what they do, I think, are the people who are constantly trying to learn and they're never satisfied. They always think they can learn one more thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So I have one question. I'm actually curious about this myself because when I was in college, I did a very poor job of staying fit. I had no discipline whatsoever. And it
Mm-hmm.
sounds like you're the exact opposite of that. You're in college and you're doing your jump rope, you're going on long runs. I mean, I never
Mm-hmm.
did not 1 ounce of physical activity in all 4 years I was in college. So how do you act? How do you have the discipline to go through with that at the age that you're at and the setting that you're in, being a college campus?
Yeah. Well, for me going into college, I knew that like being healthy, being active was something that's important to me because I've been playing sports since I was really young. So I knew that if I just sit around or not work out, I'm just gonna I just get this feeling where I need to be moving. And
Yeah,
so yeah, I think for me what's really helped is creating a training plan. Like I'll literally just Google Docs, just create Sunday through Saturday of what I'm gonna do for a month. Um, and I've in the past when races were open, or they still are, they're just virtual. I'll sign up for those so I have a specific goal. And that's, I think having a specific goal has really helped me stay motivated. Um, but yeah, creating those monthly plans for myself um, just really makes me stay on track. And um, I get into a routine um, with that plan of usually I like to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, kind of
mm,
boring. But for me that really helps because I wake up, I I get ready and then I go on a run or I go jump rope. And so just having that regular routine, I think has kept me accountable to stay active throughout college.
sure. That's great. I yeah, I
Thank you.
definitely wish I had done the same thing. That's awesome to have the discipline to be able to do that. Do you have anybody that you train with or any accountability partners that you go to school with?
Um, in the past, I'll run sometimes with my friends, but my friends, have you heard of Orange Theory Fitness?
Oh yeah, yeah,
So two of
mhm,
my roommates are really into that.
yeah,
So sometimes they're going to the 5 a.m. class. And so I'm getting up to like 2 hours later and like, okay, they've already worked out. I can also work out if they can get up at 5.
sure,
Um,
sure.
so I'd say we're not, my friends and I aren't working out together, but just the mutual like motivation of they're going to their workout class. Like I can go do
Yeah.
my workout.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That does help having a support system. But have you
Mhm.
have you gone to Orange Theory with them and tried it out?
No, they've tried to get me to go.
Yeah,
I just haven't yet. It sounds tough. They talk about rowing and rowing just seems really hard. But good
yeah,
respect to them because they crush it there.
yeah. It's actually not bad. I was a member there for a
Oh.
few months when we lived in Williamsburg, Virginia.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's I could see why people like it because it's extremely effective workout. And it's you could do that workout at the gym if you want to, but it's the
Mhm.
atmosphere. There's people in
Yeah.
there that'll push you, and just being in there with everybody makes you go that much harder. But yeah, it's an effective, good workout.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. So you should definitely try it sometime. The rowing's not too bad. It's the hardest part is actually the floor with the weights. That can be the most difficult
Oh,
part. Yeah, they have you doing
yeah.
some pretty insane exercises with the weights, you know.
Yeah. I mean, they love it there. And so, yeah, I really need to try it one day.
Yeah, I gotta go for it.
Hmm.
So for the support system you have, that's awesome. Do you have any advice to people who are just starting with jump rope and are having a difficult time getting started? What would you say to them?
Yeah, I wrote something down for that. Oh, yeah. So, at first, if you're starting out with jump rope, I'd say to slow things down because with YouTube tutorials and videos you see on Instagram, that's probably people going like at their fastest, or they might just be more experienced so they can go at a faster pace. So really slow the moves down, and if you can, like, use your phone to record yourself. If you're still having trouble, try to jump in front of a mirror if you have access to one so you can see your form. And then the second thing that I'd suggest is to not compare yourself to other jumpers, which is really hard, especially on social media when like you're just seeing videos of people jump rope constantly if you're following them, of like, oh my gosh, they got that move faster than me, or how are they going that fast, stuff like that. So just to not compare yourself and remember that, like, you can get to that point, but everyone's timeline of getting to whatever set goal is gonna be different. um, so yeah, try not to compare and really master the basics, the fundamentals of jump rope, of have a good jump rope form, basic bounce, boxer step. um, yeah, so if you have those, then you have good balance and timing, and then you can move on to those harder moves or tricks.
Yeah, I agree with you. Foundation is the key.
Mhm.
But what you said about not comparing yourself, that's the most important thing, I think.
Mhm.
What you said. I agree with everything you said, but that's the truth because you have no idea what that other person has gone through.
Mhm.
And it just ends up stealing your joy. It does nothing but either make you feel superior to somebody or make you feel inferior if you're
Mhm.
comparing yourself to somebody else. And everyone's got different styles out here.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's what I was about to mention is, yeah, there's so many different styles. And at first I thought like, okay, you can only be like the workout style, boxer style, or the freestyle. But now you can really mix it up and create whatever you want. You don't have to be with one type. So yeah, just find your own style, and not and don't compare yourself to others.
True
Yeah.
that. I agree with
Hmm.
you. That's great. That's great advice. What do you think is the most important thing that you've learned from jump rope so far? And what does it mean to you? What does jump rope mean to you?
Mm. I think one of the things I've learned the most is patience, especially with some of those moves. Like, I just, if you don't get it, I you just have to keep going and keep trying and be patient, because it's not going to be like one session and you get it. It might be with some moves, but other moves it might not be. So patience and like persistence, are big lessons that I've learned through jump rope, because you just got to keep going. If you stop after you trip or you get slapped by your rope, you're not gonna get anywhere. So you gotta keep
Yeah.
going.
Mhm.
And what does jump rope mean to me? I think when I think of jump rope, I think of the community that it's given me, of the online jump rope community, and just overall like fitness aspect. I think those two things together is that you can have a community, you can have a fitness community that really supports you, I think um, that's the greatest thing about jump rope right now is it's bringing so many people together.
Hmm. Yeah, the community aspect is good. You were talking about that earlier about how you're able, because everything with social media is flattened
Mhm.
everything. So you can reach out to people. They may not respond, who knows, but the likelihood of them responding is pretty high nowadays with all
Mhm.
these platforms you can communicate on. Just the last thing is if there's anything you want to add to sign off with, or any general advice you want to give to somebody who's just starting out or who is trying to get in better shape, what would you tell them?
Yeah. For me, I for jump rope, for running, what I found is my mentality is everything.
Hmm.
So just to have a strong mindset and be prepared for it not to be easy all the time, you're gonna have to put in the hard work. You're gonna have to push through those days where like you get up like, do I want to jump rope? Do I want to run? And you just gotta go do it. Kathy Jumps also has a good saying on that of she encourages people just try 5 minutes of jump rope and then see what happens after that. So yeah, having a positive mindset and knowing that you're going to have to put in the hard work, I think is something that I think people should really know about fitness in general. And then another thing that's been really I've been passionate about recently is you don't have to choose like running or jump rope. I think that's been a thing just
Yeah.
recently because the jump rope has risen, I think, in popularity and people are saying, oh, it's so much better than running. And maybe it's better for running for one person, but for another person, they might enjoy running. And we don't have to pit those things against each other. I
Yeah.
think both are great. Both are getting you moving and active. And so, yeah, if you like both, share about both. You don't have to only push one form of cardio.
Oh, I agree with you. I know you're right. There are people who say no, don't run and just do jump rope and the other way around. But like you, I do both as well. And
Hmm.
it works. It works
Yeah,
for me. And if it works for you, you got to just keep going with it.
yeah, totally.
Hey, Holland, thank you very much for joining me on the podcast. I really appreciate it. You had a lot of wise things to say, and I learned a lot from you. So thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Take care.
You too.
Hey, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning into the podcast episode. I appreciate it. Respect to Holland for coming by and sharing her views on jump rope, fitness, nutrition, and for sharing her various training plans and for all the advice that she had. One thing that continues to stick out to me is how she's able to remain so disciplined and to stick with a good, beneficial routine despite being a college student. That was something that I failed at miserably. Even though I played sports all 4 years, I didn't have the discipline to do that when I was in college. It's something that people of any age can emulate, but especially younger people who are leaving home for the first time, going to college, and are trying to find a way to stay in shape. Once again, I appreciate the support. Please hit the thumbs up button on YouTube, hit the subscribe button on your podcast platform or the YouTube channel and just keep getting after it. Thank you so much. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay hydrated, jump rope to freedom. Peace, everybody.